Welcome to this presentation on Computerized System Validation, CSV. This deck covers what CSV is, why it matters in pharma, its regulatory backbone, and the full validation lifecycle from planning to reporting. Our goal is to give you a clear, structured understanding of how to approach CSV projects with confidence and compliance. This session covers 12 key topics. We begin with fundamentals, what CSV is and why it matters. Then move through regulatory frameworks, GAMP5 classifications, the V-model approach, and finally, the full set of validation deliverables you will produce for each project. Computerized system validation is much more than just testing software. It is a structured, documented process that provides documented evidence. A system does exactly what it is intended to do, consistently, reproducibly, and in compliance with regulatory requirements. In pharma, this is not optional. It is a regulatory obligation backed by FDA and international authorities. Understanding the difference is critical. A computer system refers to the hardware and software processing unit alone. A computerized system is broader. It encompasses the entire ecosystem, including hardware, software, network, instruments, sensors, actuators, and the SOPs or procedures governing their use. CSV applies to the full computerized system, not just the software in isolation. CSV is mandatory in pharma for 4 core reasons. 1. To demonstrate regulatory compliance. 2. To enable safe paperless operations. 3. To provide documented evidence of system reliability. And 4. To protect the organization from costly FDA 483 observations and warning letters. The cost of noncompliance far exceeds the cost of a well-executed validation program. There are 4 types of CSV perspective. The most common validates new systems before go-live. Retrospective validates existing systems using historical data. Concurrent validates during live production runs. And revalidation, triggered by time intervals or system changes. Most new pharma projects use prospective validation, combined with a change control process that triggers revalidation when needed. CSV has 3 non-negotiable objectives: patient safety. Systems must not introduce risk to patients through errors or data corruption. Product quality. Validated systems ensure manufacturing and testing processes produce consistently compliant products. Data integrity. All electronic records must adhere to ALCOA Plus principles: attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, accurate, complete, consistent, enduring, and available. The regulatory foundation for CSV begins with the FDA Blue Book, 1983, and crystallized with 21 CFR Part 11, 1997. Part 11 is divided into 3 subparts. Subpart A establishes scope and definitions. Subpart B governs electronic records, requiring validation, audit trails, and integrity controls. Subpart C governs electronic signatures, both biometric and non-biometric. Part 11 applies any time computers are used to create, modify, or transmit GXP records. Part 11 defines electronic records as any digital combination of text, data, audio, or pictorial information created, modified, or maintained by a computer system. Records must be authentic, integral, confidential, and irrefutable. Electronic signatures are the legally binding equivalent of handwritten signatures. Organizations must notify the FDA before switching from paper to electronic signatures. All signatures must be unique to each individual and permanently linked to the associated record. GAMP5 provides the industry standard framework for categorizing systems. Category 1 is infrastructure software like operating systems requiring minimal validation effort. Category 3 is commercial off-the-shelf software used as is, e.g. chromatography software. Category 4 is configurable software like LIMS or QMS systems. Validation effort scales with configuration. Category 5 is custom-developed applications requiring the most rigorous validation. Hardware is categorized as standard, Category 1, or custom, Category 2, with Category 2 requiring supplier qualification. This slide summarizes the 3 pillars of CSV knowledge every practitioner needs. GAMP5 for categorizing and scoping the validation effort. 21 CFR, Part 11 for governing electronic records, signatures, and audit trails. And GDP, Good Documentation Practice, the ALCOA Plus framework ensuring data integrity. All three must be considered together when designing and executing a validation program. The V model is the gold standard lifecycle framework for CSV. The left side of the V represents the specification/design phase, URS, what the user needs, FS, how the system should function, and DS, how it will be built. The bottom represents the build and testing phase. The right side represents qualification. IQ, is it correctly installed? OQ, does it function correctly? And PQ, does it perform in the production environment? Each right side qualification directly tests the corresponding left side specification. After go live, the system enters the maintain phase, governed by SOPs, change control, and periodic revalidation. 12 key deliverables span 4 stages. Planning stage. URS, what the system must do. Initial risk assessment or GXP assessment, risk and regulatory scope. And validation plan, the strategy document. Specification stage, functional requirement specification, functional risk assessment, and design qualification summary. Qualification stage. IQ, correct installation. OQ, correct operation. And PQ, performance in production. Reporting stage, requirements traceability matrix, linking every requirement to its test. Validation summary report, consolidating the complete validation effort. And validation certificate, formal closure. Each deliverable must be reviewed and approved per your site SOPs. CSV delivers tangible business value beyond just regulatory compliance. It reduces costs by catching defects early, far cheaper than post-market fixes or recalls. It creates the documentation trail needed for FDA audits, ensuring audit readiness at all times. Validated systems run more reliably, boosting employee productivity and reducing rework. Most importantly, CSV establishes a systematic framework for risk reduction and continuous process improvement across the organization. Thank you for your attention. GXP Validation Solutions is your dedicated partner for all computerized system validation needs. We have offices in Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, and Punjab, serving pharmaceutical clients across India. Reach out via email at info@gxpval.com or call +9194 924 34286. We look forward to supporting your compliance journey.